I had done 45 out of 50 XP. I went back to do some more and I got this. And I'm like, I immediately have to record. I finally am getting the path. I'm getting the path. So let's look through together this intro.
Welcome to a new look on Duolingo. We redesigned the home screen to better guide you through lessons. Follow a path crafted by our learning experts to help you better reach your goals and learn with confidence. And don't worry, we kept all the progress you've made so far. So head to the path and take the next step on your learning journey.
So from what people have been expecting me, I kind of knew what to expect, but they say new unit guidebooks, the path. My question was, how much was I going to keep over? They say we kept everything you worked on. So, but they also have a new layout. So what does that translate to? So you can see this is for the Turkish course, which is the last course I was on. You can see what's kept as legendary, what's just completed up to the level 5, and then what more I have. And I'm just scrolling down to see how many units there are. We have this sidebar on the right hand side. We go all the way to unit 43 is where I guess currently the Turkish course ends in terms of units. So I wanted to see what the other courses were looking like. So that's what I did. And you see here I get the email notification about the new screen look. It was all happening in real time. How exciting. Does this mean everyone got it? So we see I went to the Spanish course. I have before this, the Spanish course is all done. Now on the path it's not. So I have all these new units to explore. Okay, that's fine. At this point I'm used to that. Spanish always changes up by adding units and modules. But we do have this option to legendary the unit as a whole, as opposed to individual skills. So that's fun, I guess. I did try and test out the jumping ahead, but for some reason it wasn't working several times over. I thought it might have been a unit-specific thing. It was not. So I decided to go and look at the other courses to see if French might have been completed, where that might be. Usually French and Spanish are the ones that are getting updated the most. I want to see what that looked like with the new path. Like Spanish, of course, I was not finished. I was not complete. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, none of the courses are going to be complete, right? So I think I moved to the next one, which would have been Portuguese. But again, shortly after testing this unit, again, it's not working for some reason. Not sure why that's about. Anyway, I go to check out Portuguese to see if that is also like Spanish and French, incomplete. No, it's not. It is. Exciting. It is. It's finished. Now, the end button there was brown. And you'll see soon that in another course it was pink. I'm not sure what that's about. But I did go all the way back up to see again where the legendary, ends, where my legendary coursework or the courses that have legendary ends respectively. And one sees that it's a lot to go all the way up and all the way down. They do have the cursor on the side, but they also have this button on the bottom that allows you to bring it all the way down to the bottom, I guess, to where you're at. I tried to click the bottom to see if it was going to let me just legendary out of the whole thing. Again, it wasn't working. Not sure why. But, sometimes Duolingo just glitches. We do have these side reviews that you get to test out, but they're quite expensive gem-wise, right? 100 gems. I don't know if that's worth it. I don't know if that's worth it for me, okay? And I did want to see if it was the same price throughout the units. It was. Again, very expensive. And you would think that by instituting this path, across the platforms, that we would also have the lingots transfer over across the platforms. Not the case. And then unlike previously, instead of having module names, we just have like tasks or things you're supposed to be able to do with each step. There it was count up to 20, right? Different things like that. We don't necessarily have like, ooh, this is conjunctions or straight up numbers, whatever. So that's interesting. Again, legendary option. I think legendarying all the previous preceding steps for 8 versus legendarying each skill for however many respectively is an improvement. So then I moved on to Danish. As you can see, that is finished. Danish is another course that you don't necessarily see a lot of update to. And then I continue on to Russian, another course that I had previously finished, to check where that is also finished. But as you see here, we're pink at the review option. Don't know what that's about yet. Gonna have to play around with this a bit. It might be because Lily is the end graphic or animation at that course. Not sure. Is it Lily or Zari? I want to say it's Lily. I'll go back to Danish just because I wanted to see number-wise how many units their respective courses had. That Danish was at 45. I believe Russian was at 51. All right, well, that's enough with the older courses. Let's go on to the newer courses, the ones I'm doing at the moment. First up is Kiswahili. Yeah, we're just seeing how many units I have left or I have ahead of me. Because previously, I think respectively, I didn't necessarily have so many in the double digits. Now I have, well above 20 for each, so. Or at least the units go up to well above 20 for each. Same with Japanese. I have a number ahead of me, almost 100 at 90. Just 90 units ahead. We check out Turkish next. I'm in 16 right now. Where am I going up to? Let's see. Okay. 43. Respectable, I guess. It's like a third of the way. Third? Yeah, like a little more than a third of the way, right? So respectable, I guess. And then we're gonna check out Italian, I believe, next. Where's that at? But I do have some legendary, which is always fun. We love that for me. Italiano. Where are we at there? Because previously, when I tested out of time before, I got 51%, and I had like either half or a quarter of the course. I think I was up to half now. And now, I'm nowhere near that. That equivalency, gone. Not to be found. Not available. So at this point, I'm clicking around the bottom icons because I'm like, wait a minute. Where are the stories? Okay? Where have the stories gone? How do I get to the stories in this new path, right? Where are they at? I do not find them. I think they got rid of stories. I checked on the desktop. Can't find them there. I am confused. I'm befuddled. But I did try again, since I'm like, oh, maybe it's a unit specific thing or a course specific thing. Let me try the test ahead or the skip to here button elsewhere. For whatever reason, it wasn't working again. Eventually, I had to exit out and just restart my tablet because Duolingo wasn't going to refresh anyway. So I restarted the tablet and the program. I wanted to test out first, but I wanted to also, before that, check out the guidebook. And whereas you had previously tips for each module, each skill, now you just have a guidebook for the unit. I don't know how I like that. I really have to test it out first, go through the steps, I guess it's no longer modules, and see how that works. But I don't know how that's going to work if you just have such a sparse amount of information for that many steps. If you're going to have to invest in other resources, which I think had been anyway kind of the best way to use it. You had to invest in some type of secondary resource, whether that's an online thing or whatever. I just feel like that takes away from the great functionality it had as a mobile app. So me doing this skip up to here test out, I do have to say I really like that we have 5 hearts instead of 3. Because if the whole thing was, oh, you get up to 5 hearts, why were the test outs only limited to 3? I think that's a logical correction to make. We don't have the lined options that have the translation which, okay, this is like a test out, makes sense. I expect that those are available in the regular steps for progress, but I don't know yet.
Non ho neanche un fratello.
I'll be honest, I was on the desktop at this same time looking up certain words because I'm like, I don't recall this word. I don't remember having learned this word. I need the definition now, at least to try and test out, and I can always, review the word and write it down in my notes later. I have no qualms about that, especially with the way the path is set up. It's looking like where maybe you don't have all these tips and all this background information ahead of time. This learn as you go along mechanism, I don't think I've ever really been a fan of that, but I can adapt to that, and I think that will just make the case for Duolingo being a complementary learning resource.
Febbraio è un mese breve. Febbraio è un mese breve. Ovviamente non è vero.
Just if I can here make a quick case for having the Italian dictionary installed on your device keyboard. As you saw with the word for obviously, ovviamente, you write a word, you're not sure the spelling, it corrects it for you, and you learn in the process. It's great.
Grazie di nuovo.
Offriamo una zuppa al pomodoro. Offriamo la zuppa al pomodoro. Offriamo.
Here's another case of a vocabulary word I did not know, or if I had learned it, did not recollect. And I looked it up at the same time on desktop. We have the feminine version available as well. Now dates. I'm like, okay, is it going to accept several words? Like if someone were to write the word for the date fruit, is it going to accept that? It shouldn't, contextually. But whatever. Then there were several words on Google Translate for however. I'm like, I don't know if this has only one option available to accept. If there's really only one way to say it, I don't know. So I gave it my best guess. I'm not really actually super concerned about moving ahead because this was just a test to see how the skill might work, the function might work. And obviously I did not move ahead. Wah. That's okay. I will practice it later and learn it later, so that's fine. Again, just another quick look at the guidebook to see if the length differs by unit. They all seem to be relatively short. So again, something I'll have to try for a little while before I really give an opinion on it. But so far, at this stage, I have my reservations about that length, about the usefulness of that length. But again, we have how many units, so I don't know. And I finally decided, let me just see if something happens when you finish one of these reviews. Does that review then turn legendary? Is it always available to you? So I decided I'm going to do it. I spent the 100 gems and I went through it.
Uomo.
Tu mangi zucchero? Uomo. Io mangio il pane. Mangio il pane.
Lei beve. Beve.
Sono una donna.
Bevo l'acqua. Acqua.
Io sono l'uomo.
Tu mangi il pane.
La ragazza mangia il pane.
Io mangio zucchero.
Tu sei. Lei è. Lei è. Tu sei. Lei è.
Lei è la donna. È la donna.
Tu mangi zucchero? Tu mangi zucchero?
Io mangio zucchero. Mangio zucchero.
So this second exercise, I earned 20 XP. This third, I'm set to earn 40. Not sure why it went 10, 20, 40, but interesting nonetheless.
Donna.
Lui mangia il pane.
L'uomo. La donna mangia la mela. Uomo.
Tu, io, lei. Lei.
Io.
Il ragazzo mangia una mela. Ragazzo, ma una mela. Io sono una ragazza. Sono un ragazzo.
Tu, lui, lei.
Lui è il ragazzo.
Tu mangi il pane.
Io mangio il pane.
So I finished and I was really excited. Was the bird suddenly going to be legendaried? I don't know. Was it going to do a little dance, a little animation? Not really. Not at all. In fact, I still have the option to review it again for some reason. Don't know what the point of having it 3 levels then is. But okay, I guess. But we do see that Lily has this little rain cloud animation. The animations are cute. I will give them that. I just wish that once you finished each that they did something or they maybe assumed a new pose or something. I don't know. And so I'll leave you this little animation of Duo messing around with the beaker. So yes, stories are gone. How sad. First they got rid of the forum, and now we don't have stories. And what about the tips section? What about the tips?